Despite Max Verstappen adding another win to his column, the Canadian Grand Prix wasn't the strongest outing for Red Bull. Their indomitable RB19 showed signs of weakness as the other cars inched closer to the top. And with their dominance finally on the ropes, Christian Horner is now hinting at giving one of his drivers the axe, and it isn't Max Verstappen. So, who does he have in mind to replace Sergio Perez? Let's find out in today's video. Red Bull boss Christian Horner has added more weight to the recent speculation surrounding Alex Albon potentially taking over from Sergio Perez at the team. Albon's impressive showing at the Canadian Grand Prix has garnered strong support for him to step in as Perez's replacement, as the latter's position at Red Bull has been a widely discussed topic throughout the season. Perez, the Mexican driver, has faced difficulties matching Max Verstappen's performance in the exceptionally dominant car on the grid. Despite having a contract that runs until the end of 2024, there is a growing belief that it may not be extended or could even come to an early conclusion. There have been no official confirmations from either the team or the driver regarding this matter, but fans have noticed an interesting detail. Christian Horner has shown his appreciation by liking a recent Instagram post from Williams. The post featured Alex Albon and had the caption, "Your driver of the day." This detail has certainly caught the attention of fans who are eagerly following the ongoing rumours and speculations. Alex Albon is currently not associated with Red Bull, but during an interview with Sky F1, Christian Horner spilled the beans about his close attention to Albon's performance in Canada and commended him for his efforts. This statement by Horner raised eyebrows, leading Ted Kravitz to speculate on the reason behind highlighting Albon's drive. Could it be that Red Bull is considering Albon as a potential candidate again, given Sergio Perez's concerning decline in form? In response to a fan's question on the Sky F1 podcast about Perez deserving the second Red Bull seat, Kravitz shared his thoughts, saying, "Yes, although Christian Horner was quick to praise Alex Albon, wasn't he? I thought that was interesting in that Alex Albon has now severed all of his ties. He doesn't even have the Red Bull on the side of his helmet anymore. He still has the links with the Uvidia family, who are 51% owners of Red Bull. There's a couple of sponsors that he has which is linked to the Uvidia family, and there are other brands that they have in Thailand. But Alex is not in the Red Bull camp anymore, and Alex Albon finishing 7th in a Williams, even though it was 20 seconds behind, well, Checo made the extra pit stop behind Checo Perez. Checo made the extra pit stop behind Checo Perez in a Red Bull in 6th wasn't lost on anybody, and least is seems Christian Horner. If Albon were to make a comeback, it wouldn't be his first rodeo. In the 2019 season, he was previously recalled alongside Daniel Kvyat as Red Bull faced a scarcity in their once-abundant pool of young racing talents. However, Albon eventually faced the disappointment of being dropped by Red Bull once again. Now, flourishing at Williams, even though the team is currently far behind the dominant Red Bull outfit, it is far from guaranteed that Albon would be eager to return and risk being in the same position as Verstappen's teammate, which previously led to difficulties. Now let's talk about the beginning of the end for Red Bull. According to Helmut Marko, he believes that Red Bull's competitors were able to close the gap in the Formula One Canadian Grand Prix because the team did not perform up to their usual standards. Max Verstappen secured his 6th victory of the 2023 F season at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, finishing with a 9-second lead over Fernando Alonso in 2nd place and a 14-second advantage over Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. While the margin behind Verstappen has been larger in previous races, Marko was asked if he sees the gap narrowing between Red Bull and their rivals. While talking to the F1 Nation podcast, he said, "Yes, it did come closer here, but we didn't perform as we should have. We couldn't bring the tyres to temperature, especially the hard tyre. We couldn't get the right temperature. Everybody thinks the Red Bull is a fantastic car. Yes, it's a good car, but Ferrari and also Mercedes, they didn't improve from last year. I think they reversed in the beginning of the season. So when we are not at our best, they are nearer. That's as easy as that." That being said, Marco went on to state that both Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz demonstrated superior pace compared to the Red Bulls throughout the entirety of the 70-lap race in Montreal. He hinted that Red Bull's victory at the Canadian Grand Prix could have been in jeopardy if the Ferrari drivers had started the race from higher grid positions. Talking to Service TV, he admitted that it wasn't easy. We had problems with the hard tyres to get them up to temperature. The race was harder than we thought, but luckily Ferrari started further back as they were fastest on both sets of tyres. Red Bull has enjoyed a flawless beginning to the 2023 F1 season, triumphing in all 8 Grand Prix events and establishing a significant lead over their rivals as they appear to be on track for consecutive championship doubles. Competing teams such as Mercedes, Aston Martin and Ferrari have made their initial efforts in the development battle, and although Max Verstappen's winning margin in Canada was notably reduced, his impressive lead of 9.5 seconds over Fernando Alonso from Aston Martin, which also included a safety car period, illustrates the formidable challenge that lies ahead for the competitors. The FIA introduced new ground effect regulations, along with the budget cap and adjusted wind tunnel time allocations, with the aim of narrowing the performance gap between teams. However, Red Bull has managed to establish a dominant position and is currently out of reach for their rivals. While this may appear to be a lasting advantage, Tombazis suggests that it is only a temporary situation. He points out that the competitive pack behind Red Bull, including Mercedes, Aston Martin and Ferrari, is engaged in fierce battles with other teams not far behind. Tombazis predicts that Red Bull will soon find themselves in the midst of this intense competition, possibly as early as the coming months. He told Corriere della Sera, "Putting Red Bull aside, everyone else is close, and I think it's only a matter of time before performance convergence is achieved. Maybe it will be achieved in the next few months, maybe it will be early next year." Tombazis' confidence stems from the fact that teams like Aston Martin, Mercedes and Ferrari are drawing inspiration from the design concept of Red Bull's RB19 for their own cars. Notably, Mercedes and Ferrari have made mid-season modifications, incorporating Red Bull-esque side pods into their designs. This strategic move, particularly for Mercedes, seems to be yielding positive results and contributing to Tombazis' optimism. Tombazis expresses hope for a season reminiscent of the 2021 campaign, where Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton fiercely competed for the World Championship, keeping the title race alive until the final lap. Additionally, Tombazis anticipates an exciting mix of performances from other teams, with Alpine securing a race victory and Ferrari and McLaren showcasing their competitiveness at various circuits. The prospect for such a closely contested season featuring multiple teams in the mix fuels Tombazis' optimism for the future of Formula One. Almost everyone is going towards the Red Bull technical concept, even Mercedes and Ferrari. We hope to see very close world championships again, maybe like it was in 2021, but we cannot create them artificially. We cannot fight against the ability of some to do a better job than others. It must be admitted that there are those who have done better with these rules. Verstappen currently holds a significant lead of 69 points over his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez in the drivers' standings, thanks to his remarkable success of securing 6 victories out of the first 8 Grand Prix races. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull has established a substantial advantage, being 154 points ahead of their closest rival, Mercedes. These impressive statistics highlight Red Bull's dominant position in both the individual and team championships so far this season. But with Perez lagging behind by such a wide margin, does this spell the end for the Mexican's time in a Red Bull car? And given Tombazis' statements, do you think the FIA is secretly trying to fix races to make the sport more entertaining? Tell us your theories in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.